For more information and to apply, visit stbarnabashealthsystem.com or call 724-444-JOBS. Jobs that are apart from the ordinary. Find them at St. Barnabas Health System.
The best of Beaver County is easy to discover. It's right here on your radio. Tune in Beaver County Radio or watch the Best of Beaver County live on Facebook or YouTube video this and every Thursday from 11 to 11:30. The program is made possible by St. Barnabas. For over 3 years now, the show has been dedicated to shining light on the great things going on right here in your neighborhood and the people that are making it happen. This Thursday, enjoy conversation and insight from an intriguing lineup of guests who are creating excitement and having an impact right here in Beaver County. Your friends and neighbors at St. Barnabas are pleased to support the Best of Beaver County. The radio broadcast will also be replayed each week from 11:30 to noon on Sundays on Beaver County Radio. Archived Best of Beaver County videos can be viewed on the WBVP WMBA Facebook page. It's your chance to encounter the best of Beaver County with host Mike Romai this Thursday starting at 11. For more information, visit beavercountyradio.com.
Join the Beaver from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. Friday, September 20th at Sport Clips in Chippewa in the Dunham's Plaza to celebrate the grand opening and help support a local family. The event from noon till 4, there will be raffle giveaways, local first responders, and a ribbon cutting at 2:30. Sport Clips is raising money for the Aubrey Bogacki family, a local girl who tragically lost her father and 2 siblings. $2 from every haircut will be donated, plus any donations received. Come out and support a good cause. Friday, September 20th from noon till 4 at Sport Clips in Chippewa.
You're listening to 99.3 FM, presented by St. Barnabas, in addition to 1230 WBVP Beaver Falls. Welcome to the Best of Beaver County, presented by St. Barnabas, a weekly segment dedicated to putting the focus on the amazing things and the amazing people behind them in Beaver County. The Best of Beaver County is sponsored by and content is provided by St. Barnabas. The show airs every Thursday from 11 to 11:30 on WBVP, WMBA, 99.3 FM, and Facebook Live. Now, with no further ado, let's welcome host Mike Romai to introduce today's program.
How do you start your day? Once your feet hit the floor, usually with a cup of coffee, isn't it? I mean, coffee drinkers are rabid in their love for coffee, and they'll try other ones, but they usually fall back into a favorite. There are iced coffees, there are iced teas, there are normal teas, there are all different varieties of hot and cold drinks of the coffee and tea variety for you to choose from. And the person we're going to interview today is Bethany Warren. She is the owner of the Beaver Falls Coffee and Tea Company. It's located on College Hill in Beaver Falls, and it is one of the success stories in Beaver County. They started from nothing. She was a student at Geneva College, and Geneva College's connection to Beaver Falls, the city, continues to grow with many of the students who graduated from there, have found homes and have begun businesses there. And Bethany, going back many years, was one of the first. Bethany, good morning and welcome.
Thank you.
So good to see you once again.
Thanks for having me.
Now, you, Beaver Falls Coffee and Tea, you started that when?
We started that in 2006.
Okay.
My husband and I went to Geneva College and decided, as you said, that we wanted to invest back in the community and start a coffee shop. Everybody in the area was asking for one, and I come from an entrepreneurial family and decided that that was something that we could do. And so we bought a property, and a couple years later, we opened the coffee shop.
That's amazing. 2006? So you've been there 18 years?
It'll be 18 in December.
That is crazy.
Yes.
That is crazy because being a resident of Beaver Falls and a native of Beaver Falls, I remember when you first opened there, just a house, just a nondescript house when you first started it, right?
Yes, just a house.
Yeah, and it was a block off the college campus right across the street from the Bagpiper Theater, right? See, I know a little bit about that going on there, but what made you think that that was something that was going to go? Did you take your coffees around at the beginning and say, we want you to try this, we're going to open this new business?
Yeah, so I did a lot of market research. I had a minor in business, took the entrepreneurship class at Geneva, which was very helpful. I always suggest that to students if they have an idea. So we wrote a business plan and took that around. And the idea of a coffee shop was really, it's deeper than just coffee. It had a lot more to do with community development. and to open the sort of place that anybody could come into, regardless of age, background, who you were, and have informal community gathering, be able to interact with your neighbors, interact with people of different ages and all that sort of thing. And so coffee shops are a great way to do that in communities. And then also, the coffee industry is massive. It is huge. There's a huge variation in everything from quality to concepts to perspective to philosophy. And so we wanted to use our worldview through that lens and create a product that we were proud of, that we wanted to honor our fellow neighbors by providing something really great to them and showing them that they had worth as well.
Yeah. And so basically, did anybody ever say to you, coffee and tea, really? Can you make a living selling coffee and tea? How much, back 18 years ago, how much was a cup of coffee selling for?
Well, yes, a little less than it is now. And we have actually worked really hard to keep our prices affordable. We don't want to, say, gentrify our neighborhood. We had this underlying concept of raising the quality of life without raising the cost of living. Mm-hmm. So although our prices, of course, have gone up, and I would say we take the best way, not the easiest or cheapest way. And that goes all the way back to where I buy our beans from and ethically, all these sort of things. But I don't want to ever make money off of somebody else's suffering, which is very easy to do in the coffee industry. So we work very hard to trace back where we buy our things from, to have global and local partnerships that are honoring to our fellow humans. And then but we do not inflate our prices to match that. You would find those things in any big city, and you might be paying $7 for what we charge $4 or $5 for, because our community can't sustain a $7 latte. So we don't charge that.
It's a business person, and so often when we talk about business, the whole idea is to make a profit,
to make
and
money,
to make as much as you can.
Right.
But you have a humanity side of things.
Absolutely. We are humans. We're in our neighbors, for sure. And yes, when we first started, to go back to your original question, with the business plan, a lot of people were like, oh, so you're young, in your 20s, you've never started a business before, and you want to start a food-related business in a post-industrial steel town that hasn't had a new business in how long? And it took us a long time to find that funding, but we did find a local investment group that wanted to do those things. So that was great.
It's interesting because another one of what they would have probably considered setbacks at the time is that you were off of the main street. You're up on College Hill.
Yeah, we're on the main road.
The donut store, D'Angelo's Donuts, no longer existed. And you got a pizza shop there, of course, but there wasn't much else going on up there.
Right. But it's a chicken or the egg. Do you wait for other things and go in after, or do you start something? And we decided to start something.
That's the entrepreneurial spirit.
Yes.
And as this whole thing grew, so did your business and your footprint.
Yes.
Because people started to come in. I've been in before, and it was quaint. That was the word that I would use for it, because it's just like old stock housing around Beaver County. Yes. It's stately. It
is quite stately. Yeah. We try to make it comfortable without feeling like you're. I mean, you are in my living room, but I'm trying to make it not feel like you're in somebody's living room. And our footprint has grown. We roast our own coffee beans, as I said, ethically sourced, and we sell those beans to other coffee shops, restaurants. So we wholesale as well. And we've grown into another building where we actually have our roastery in another building to be able to produce more.
On College Hill as well?
It's in West Mayfield, yes.
Oh, okay.
Just around the corner.
Okay. All right. And there's a pizza shop up there, too, I think.
We partner with them. We're in their building.
Oh, okay. Yep. All right. And a few years ago, it used to be a soap store. They used to make soaps
there.
It
still smells like lavender inside.
Well, that's not a bad
actually
thing.
Not bad, yes. But we're longtime friends with the oven guys.
Oh, very good. Yeah. So, okay. I understand how it's all coming together now. So you didn't have to go and visit Juan Valdez. You didn't go to Columbia or any place.
Oh, I have been.
I've
not
there
been to
and check
Columbia.
Out the beans?
Anytime I can, which is it's cost prohibitive.
Sure.
But if we try to develop relationships all around the world, and sometimes we start that relationship. Sometimes a farmer will reach out. Actually, that's how we got one of our best relationships. And sometimes we go through importers, small ones or big ones, who already have the relationship. But we look for traceability. But we did get to go. I took some students down to Guatemala to a farm that we've had a relationship for now 16 years. We learned from them. We hung out with their children. We watched the coffee process. We learned a lot. And that it really informed going forward how I developed relationships with farmers.
Bethany Warren is our guest. She is with the Beaver Falls Coffee and Tea. It's been in Beaver Falls for 18 years now. And not only that, they grind their own beans, roast their own beans right in West Mayfield. So this is all very community oriented. You said earlier that you came from an entrepreneurial family.
Yes.
And but some of the things that you talk about, some of the giving back and the idea that it's community. A lot of people say buy in the USA, blah, 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 this and that. But you're really living it.
We try to.
You're staying in the community, keeping it in the community.
Yes, we try to. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll sell to anybody, but I want to produce it.
Yeah.
I want to produce it and
Right.
and create jobs in our community.
Yeah. And so it started out you and your husband.
Yep.
Now,
Yeah.
where are you with employees?
Now we have, besides us, we have 11 employees, and most people stay with us a long time. My oldest employee is 73, and my youngest is 18.
Okay.
And we run the gamut in between, all walks of life, and makes for a great workplace environment.
Are they coffee connoisseurs?
Not all of them. No, absolutely not. Sometimes, actually, one of my success stories, he would laugh at this, but he came to me saying he wanted to be an employee and wanted to learn about it, but he was like, I hate coffee. I'm never going to like it. And wouldn't you know, 3 days
You
in,
sold him?
Sold him. Now he has his own consulting business in Maryland.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, we work together on
Wow,
that. It's great.
Congratulations.
Yes.
You know, that's one of the things I always talk about. And I've been a morning man in radio, so I've been up early in the morning. My wife said to me this morning, said, well, how are you going to tell her you don't like coffee?
That's all right.
I have never, when I was a child, we used to be upstairs in bed, and I could smell my mother percolating coffee in the morning, and it always smelled so good. And I still, and that smell always takes me back. But I never liked the taste
okay.
of it.
I always tell people that's all right. Half our menu is not coffee,
I know.
so there's always something.
Scones.
For it.
I saw
the
scones on your website.
Yes. We make everything in house except for our croissants, which we get from La Petite Bakery in Chippewa. Yes,
at you.
We make everything in house
Yeah.
because when we started,
Yeah.
it was just Cafe Kolache and us, and we were working together. But there were no bakeries to make something like that we could sell.
Yeah.
And so we just had to do everything ourselves.
Right.
And so that's what we're used to. So we make all our own flavor syrups, most of them anyway. We do everything in house.
That's crazy.
Necessity is the mother of
yeah, but
invention,
that's
right?
and everybody raves about your scones because I'm going to have to stop and get some now.
Yes,
Yeah.
everybody does.
What's favorite?
Favorite drink?
No, a favorite scone.
A favorite scone. Well, I like the original, the cranberry white chocolate.
Okay.
But right now, we have a pumpkin chocolate chip bar that I cannot keep in
course,
stock.
pumpkin.
I cannot keep
Pumpkin
it in stock.
chocolate chip.
Yeah.
Two great tastes that go great together, right? Is this only for fall? The pumpkin chocolate chip?
Yes, I am very strict about seasonal things. We're not getting pumpkin stuff before pumpkins are conceivably harvesting.
Yeah.
Not in August. We're not doing
Yeah,
that. But
all right.
yeah.
And did you come from a cooking background? Did you know these things, or is it something that you're just?
Most of it I learned. I mean, my parents cooked at home. My dad is full-blooded Italian, so I learned a lot from him.
And in Italian families, the dad, the father, the man cooks.
Yeah.
Well, also goes out and does grocery
He
shopping.
did. Yes, he likes to do that.
And your mom said, "Go ahead, go have fun."
I'm sure. Yes. Yes. No. Yeah. We cooked at home, but I learned a whole lot
Yeah.
living on your own. You got to. So yeah,
Yeah.
I love it. I love cooking. We love baking. Yep.
Now tell me about the Geneva end of this, because you were a student, you graduated there. It was your intent when you graduated, you were going to start this business here. But the philosophy that you have behind it, is that also something that you talked with your professors at Geneva about? I really want to make this work, but I don't want to gouge people with prices.
Yes, actually, one of the big things, the big takeaways that Geneva really wants to have its students graduate with is that everything you do your entire life is lived through your worldview. How you act is related to what you believe. And so if you're going to be faithful, if you're going to say you believe something, then you have to act like you believe that. And so if you're really going to act in a different way, then you need to, for lack of a better term, audit what you believe. Is this really what I believe? If I want to believe this thing over here, I need to change my behavior. And so we learn, hopefully, to be faithful to what we believe. And we're believers in Christ. We want to treat other humans like they are made in the image of God. And that means that, again, I'm not going to profit off of somebody else's pain knowingly. I'm going to do everything I can to live within that worldview. Now, we're human. We make mistakes. Sure. We learn from past decisions. We grow. But that's what Geneva wants to give its students.
And it sounds like you're following the teachings of Christ.
We try, yes.
We all do. Yes. Some of us fail more often than others, but we do try. we do try. But that's a great philosophy,
yes.
and you brought it along with you. And is it something that your employees understand?
Everybody knows that that is what guides us.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, and it doesn't really matter to me if they share that worldview, but they all operate within our...
Sure.
Yes. And again, I keep people a long time, up to like 7-8 years.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them graduate. I get them for 3 or 4 years, maybe 6 years, and they graduate and they move away. But a lot of times, I keep people a long time. And whether they share that worldview or not, people do tend to find it a peaceful place to be, especially in the food service industry. Yeah. We're not yelling at each other. We're kind. We speak, with empathy towards each other, and we care for our customers.
So no customer is going to get confronted with no soup for you.
Only maybe if somebody is dressed up as that guy on Halloween.
Oh, okay, there you go. And I must say also about Geneva, since you're a grad and you have the philosophy and everything, I grew up in Beaver Falls. I've said this many times. I've been through the glory years with the steel and all the employees and everything that came about with it, but also the downturn that has affected it for the last 30 to 40 years. Absolutely. And during those years, when I was a young child, we used to walk up to the football games, Beaver Falls football games at Geneva. That was a time when there was a factory on the corner there,
the
Armstrong Cork.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now it's your soccer field.
It is.
Where it is. But that has all transformed. They straightened the highway going up Route 18, which also benefited it greatly.
Absolutely.
But more importantly than that, when I was a kid, there was always the idea that Geneva told its students, don't come downtown. It's not safe downtown. Don't be downtown. In the last 20 years, that has changed.
Way over.
Yeah, and I know that they're down on Park Place. They have houses all over the place, businesses that are opening up, including your own. And so that has helped transform. We talk about transformation of communities. That has helped transform, I think, Beaver Falls as a steel community, factory, Moultrie, B&W, those kind of Armstrong, to more of a college town. If you have kids in school, I had a daughter who went to Allegheny. Those are more college towns than Beaver Falls ever was. But now it seems the transformation has been made, and it's been very successful. And that's a large part because of Geneva and telling their students, hey, be a part of this community.
That seems to have been a beginning catalyst. Even when I was a student 100 million years ago, nobody was telling us not to go downtown anymore. They were it definitely needed some work, but they were like, no, we need to be in our community. We're not separate. We live here. We're our neighbors together. And so even when we were students, there was an effort. And that effort has developed and gotten way better over time. There's people whose literal job it is at Geneva to make that happen. Yeah. And I'm very glad to see those sort of things. Beautiful. And now, with the city leadership the way it is, and with as soon as you start having new businesses and new grants, lots more floods in. So as soon as you have one or two good things happening, then you get park renovations like we've had. You get business investment. You get nonprofit investment. And those things are really rolling in. And it's been very exciting to see that after so long kind of slogging through. Yeah. It's really exciting. And we're transplants.
Yes.
But I've noticed that a lot of the people who have been doing some of that initial investment also moved here from out of state. They're transplants and fell in love with the area and decided to stick around and invest. Obviously not everybody, but quite a few. And that's been exciting.
Thing. Bethany Warren is our guest. Bethany owns Beaver Falls Coffee and Tea. You've probably been there before, or at least seen it on College Hill in Beaver Falls. So take a break for a cup of coffee. Just go warm it up a little bit, and we'll continue on the Best of Beaver County on the St. Barnabas Radio Network.
Oh my goodness, Amy, it's so good to see you.
Jennifer, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you? Is your mom doing any better?
Thank you for asking. I don't know if I can answer without being emotional. I'm sorry. I'm just tired and worried. I can't always be there for her, and it's so stressful.
I really understand. That's how I was with my dad. I'd recommend calling St. Barnabas. We did. We started with just having them come in for home care. He was so excited to see them show up. And when he needed more, we were able to move him in at Beaver Meadows, where he still has his own home-like space and excellent care.
Thanks for telling me that. I don't even know how to start, but I have to do something.
Oh, you can just give St. Barnabas a call. They have directors that can explain how it all works. Trust me, you'll feel so much better, and so will your mom.
I'm so glad I ran into you.
Visit stbarnabashealthsystem.com or call 724-443-0700 for care apart from the ordinary.
I'm Mike Romai. It's the best of Beaver County. It's on the St. Barnabas Radio Network. Our guest is Bethany Warren. She owns the Beaver Falls Coffee and Tea Company, BFCAT, right?
Yes, people call it BIFCAT.
BIFCAT.
And that happened way before we opened.
Okay.
We workshopped a lot of names, and people started calling it BIFCAT before we even opened.
Okay, let me tell you this again, because I hate to keep going back. But there was the Beaver Falls, the tiger is the mascot.
Yes.
On the gymnasium on the wall was a tiger, painted tiger, and it was referred to as Biffus.
I didn't know that.
Beaver Falls High School, and
Yeah.
so the mascot was called Biffus. So now you got BIFCAT.
And we named a drink after the tiger mascot. We have a tiger mocha.
Okay.
Just to honor that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. So tell us about it. On your website, you say, we're a mom and pop small business in beautiful Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania, committed to serving our community, creating meaningful jobs, and supporting both our local and global farmers. That's right there on the website.
It is, yeah.
That's
our
you
story.
want people to know about it.
I do, yes.
Yeah.
I want people to know that we're not just in it for their dollars out of their pockets, that we're in it for them and for them to have a space to be and to enjoy a really good, thoughtful, intentionally produced product. We're not just throwing together ingredients. We did our research.
Yeah.
We're always learning.
So if I was at the 37th Street Fields leading up to West Mayfield, where your rotisserie is, would I smell the aroma from coffee
You
beans?
might. Yeah, you
Yeah.
might. When we just moved it there, and we were roasting in the house for many years. I mean, 16 years.
Yeah.
And you could smell it all the way down to the soccer field, and you could smell it. I mean, I could smell it at the 37th Street
Yeah.
at Sheets sometimes.
Yeah,
It depends
yeah,
on which way
yeah.
the wind's blowing.
Right.
But now we have a bigger, nicer coffee roaster that doesn't put out quite as much smell. And so you're probably not going to notice it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All
Maybe
right.
if you live right around the corner.
And how do you compete? Because there are a lot of national chains out there now, and the donut companies, you can drive
Yes.
through and get it.
Right.
How do you compete? And even in towns, there are more independent
There are.
coffee shops opening up.
There are. There's a couple things to that. Typically, if you're there and you're in the market with a big chain, like a
Starbucks, you can say
donut
that.
place,
Yeah, donut place, yeah.
if you're a Megabucks,
Yeah, yeah.
And you have something that they don't, which is very easy to do. Then people, they might go to the Megabucks first because it's comfortable. It's less scary because it's a box store, so they might know what to expect. But then they might think, okay, I know how to pronounce that word that looks scary, latte, right?
Yeah.
And then they're willing to try out the independent shop. And then they realize this is night and day. This is apples and oranges. This person knows my name the second time I came in. Hey, how'd you like that drink I made for you last week? There's a personal connection there that you just can never foster in a completely drive-through. I mean, we have done drive-through consulting for other people, and we have made drive-through things work in a coffee shop setting. But that takes intention.
Yeah.
And a chain's not going to do it, right? But there's just something very much missing in the interpersonal things. So, for example, I've had people who came to us because they went to Sheets for their lattes. And then they're like, oh, I might as well go try that place. And then they realize, well, I'm never going back to Sheets for a latte because they made it the way I wanted to, and they remembered my name.
Right.
And the product quality is just completely different. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's by design.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and not even by, I mean, I don't care or look at the chains. I mean, they're just,
Yeah, they're
they're
cookie
just
cutter.
peripheral. And
Right.
so when I'm going to develop a new drink, I'm going to design that based on seasonality. What can we do that is going to be really, really good, balanced, appeal to our customers, maybe teach them a new thing, like pull them into a new thing that's happening. I might look at the wider coffee industry and see like what things are available, what goes together. And we've developed some really cool drinks, like specific drinks that people have decided they liked. Oh, I didn't realize I liked the coffee part of that as much. Yeah, so there's education involved too.
Oh, very good. And aside from pumpkin chocolate chip scones, right? Nobody else is going to have those. But what are some of your most popular drinks?
Well, the first drink we ever made up is called the Promised Land. Oh, okay. We thought, we should do milk and honey. It turns out that's actually not very good. Milk and honey by itself is not great. And but we found a way to make that by adding other products from the same region of the world. It's actually honey, vanilla, and cinnamon. Ooh, and that doesn't even have any coffee in it. That is just, we came up with the Promised Land concept, right? And then we added coffee to it. We made it a latte, call that the Canaan Conquest, because it's a little more, it's more intense. Yeah. Conquest of Canaan. This is my husband is the namer. If it's a weird name, it's his fault. Sorry, Russ, it's your fault. Right, yeah. But anyway, so that drink, the honey, vanilla, cinnamon latte, is incredibly popular. But we also, we do a lot of our lavender cardamom flavor drink. I was making lavender drinks way before they were super exciting and popular. Yeah. Developed a way to make it not taste like grandma's seashell soap, and it's been very popular. And we have other very popular things. Yeah. All the seasonal things are great.
Right. But on a daily basis, the people that come in most often...
They're getting Canaan Conquest. They're getting something called the Golden Tornado.
Oh, the Golden
Tornado. Yes.
Again, we were looking at the website earlier, and
did you see the picture of the mascot on there?
I said, what would be in a Golden Tornado?
It is caramel and white chocolate, old golden white.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, and no coffee in it?
Oh, yeah, there's coffee in it.
There's coffee in it?
It's a latte,
okay.
Yes. Right. Any of those lattes, though, for those of you who don't like coffee, any fancy latte you can always get without the coffee in it.
Yeah, okay.
Or a decaf.
Yeah. So how has the menu and the selection expanded in 18 years?
Well, we started off with, a core group of products. As tastes change, as we come up with new things, we have a really robust seasonals menu. And every time it's time to come around to a new seasonal, I say, I know I said this last time, but this is actually my favorite. And then the next time, I know I said this last time.
Yeah.
And right now we do have my actual favorite, and I really did say this in August too, but my actual favorite is this apple butter Americano. We make this sweet cream on top. It's got brown sugar and cinnamon, and it is so good, and it quickly became very popular. It's rivaling the pumpkin spice latte now.
Yeah. I'm going to write these things down because these are non-fattening, right? I mean,
totally.
There are not that many calories in something like that.
Actually, it's not that bad. No, we've counted up. And actually, we make our syrups, most of them from scratch. And when you make it from scratch, you actually have to put way less sugar in it because we're balancing flavor with sweetness. We're not just trying to make it the cheapest thing. And so we're using organic sugar, organic agave, and the actual ingredients. Okay. And so things are way more flavorful, way less sweet. So the calorie count is so much less.
Are you the taste tester, or do you have taste testers there?
Oh, we all do it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep, we all do it. And so it might be maybe a customer or an employee or myself have an idea, but that doesn't actually work unless people like it. Yeah. And so we test them out together.
And you get a little aerobic workout too, because you've got to climb maybe 10 steps to get there. And
you're going to work it off going up our steps.
Right. Okay. And so when people come in, they just get the coffee, or do they get something else? Because you do have a menu there. We talked about the scones. What else?
People are usually grabbing a pastry. Honestly, the thing that we sell the most of is our monster cookies. It's a typical.
Can't imagine why.
Yeah. They're gluten-free, naturally. They just don't have gluten in them. There's just not in the recipe. But, and people eat them for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, everything.
You're not going to keep it on the shelf very long,
no,
right? So
we're baking them all day.
So it's all in-house baking, too?
Oh, yes, absolutely. And then we also make, we put some gluten-free quiches in our fridge. There's usually, almost always. Yeah. In fact, I believe one is being produced right now. And there's quiches in there. There's lunches if I get around to it.
It's like a little Harry Met Sally kind of place. It's still envisioning the inside. I've seen people in there playing chess before, reading books and
studying
stuff
lots
like
of
that.
meetings.
Yeah,
people doing their Zoom calls. It's everything.
They have access to everything there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you haven't been there, you got to get there. The Beaver Falls Coffee and Tea Company on College Hill in Beaver Falls, right across from Geneva College, across from the Bagpipe Theater, which, you just park, you walk up and enjoy. What are your hours?
Weekdays we're open at 7 a.m. and we close at 7 p.m.
Okay.
And on Fridays we close a little earlier. And then on Saturday it's 8 to 5.
Okay.
Yes.
And you can also see Beaver Falls Coffee and Tea at some events around the area because you were one of the first to roll out a cart
Yes.
to serve your coffees. Where would they find you?
Typically, we are usually at mostly private events, some vendor fairs. For the most part, we'll show up whenever we can. We're usually super booked, and so it's hard to book us. But we do a lot of weddings. We do a lot of parties. Our next off-site setup is actually next weekend at Geneva College's homecoming.
Oh, yeah.
And we actually need the 2 locations for that to spread out the business.
Yeah,
So.
and the parade. A couple of years ago, they brought the parade back.
And yes, I'm so excited because as a student, I took that parade very seriously, and I won Best Float 2 years.
Did you?
I did.
Great.
I did.
And
Yeah, my group, yes.
Yeah.
But now, actually, and if you're at the parade watch party, you'll be drinking my coffee too.
Okay, very good. Yeah, and floats are something that went away for a little while,
They
so I'm
did.
glad to see.
I'm so glad the
Sitting
parade is
back there with tissue paper and stuff like that, making a float.
It is a great it's so great for community involvement, getting together and doing things.
It is. And usually it's a nice, sunny, brisk day.
Yes,
Right.
and it's early this year, so it's going to be a little warmer than we're used to.
Very good. Well, Bethany Warren, thank you for visiting with us and telling us all about this. Congratulations on your success. I don't know if you have any plans to expand the business.
We do.
You do?
We do, yes. You can look for partnerships in the near future, actually.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Very good. Beaver Falls Coffee and Tea, your website is?
BeaverFallsCoffeeandTea.com, all spelled out.
All right.
Yep.
Very
You can
much.
find us on social media as well.
Yes. Thank you, Bethany.
Yes,
Thank you
thanks,
very much. Bethany Warren, it's Beaver Falls Coffee and Tea, and you really got to try it. I'm Mike Romai. This is the best of Beaver County, and Beaver Falls Coffee and Tea is really that when we say the best of on the St. Barnabas Radio Network.
Thank you for listening to the Best of Beaver County.